I had a lot of bad experiences out there. It is what it is, being on the street, addicted to drugs and prostituting.
You feel like you as a woman have no value. You have no control over your life.
I got arrested 33 times. That was only in Houston alone.
I was waking up in the morning at 5 and going to see him before he would go to work, and then I would come home and I would get the kids ready to go to school, and then whenever I got them out of my hair and out of the house, I basically was dropped off at a club and didn't get picked up until the club was closed.
In Houston, day or night, women wave over drivers.
I learned about this and that, and I learned about hotels, I learned about in calls, out calls, just all the little wordings and all the like how to word things so you don't get arrested, and just, you know what I mean? I was just so immersed in that life that that's pretty much all I was. I wasn't even a mom anymore or a wife anymore. I was just a prostitute.
So much happens on this short stretch of Bissonnette in southwest Houston. In the mornings, school buses barely block the early morning business.
Walking here, walking there, just all four ways. Coming from that away, and it's
so
just
right by the kids?
Right by the kids, right in front of them. It was so bad at one point I was like scared to be over there, but I got used to it.
My kids can't really come outside and play. They really can't walk to the store.
The children shuffling to Best Elementary with heavy backpacks aren't much younger than the ones working the corners.
I told them the truth. I'm 13 years old. And I told them that, and they didn't care. They were just like, hey. I would walk around, look sexy, stand some type of way. I would have lingerie on, even if it's raining or snowing, I would have lingerie on. And guys would stop, and I would have to go up to their door.
So I was thinking about just leaving. That wasn't my choice. That wasn't a choice for me. That's what they said. You're in the game, you're gonna stay in the game. So they started shooting me up with a drug. 8 overdoses now. It was 7 before Thursday. Because Thursday, last week, I ran away again. It was here in Harris County.
This is the Blade, a stretch not just for buyers and sellers. The ones really in charge are always watching.
I don't believe it is. I really don't believe that turning tricks and being a prostitute is a choice. It wasn't really a choice for me. No one should have to be that grown. I had to be that grown. But no one should have to be that grown. And those little girls,
because no kid, nobody should go, not even your worst enemy, nobody should go through what I went through. I've seen some stuff, I've heard some stuff. I've had stuff done to me, it's not worth it.
Around like 8 years old was the first time I got touched by my uncle.
But my mom, she was strung out on drugs, she was in and out of jail. I knew I wasn't gonna have a childhood.
Then cocaine was introduced whenever I was 23.
We were just a teenage couple that ended up being pregnant, and then within a few weeks the abuse started. And within time I was stripping. I started as a waitress. I started stripping and being forced to do things to make money.
They were vulnerable.
He was like, oh, well, you look like you're going through a lot and you look like you need money. Do you know about the game? And I was like, what game? And he told me the pimping game. I asked what that meant, and he was like, well, You give a little something to get a little something.
It started me just being homeless, staying in tents, and me just begging every day for money and stuff. You make the money, but you don't even keep the money. You just give it to somebody. You keep giving it every day. You're giving yourself to somebody to give money to somebody else.
You don't know what you're getting yourself into when you get into somebody's car. They could be a murderer for all we know, and you're getting in the car just to get paid.
I would go over to people's houses, and I didn't think anything of it when I'd walk in and they'd deadbolt the door. Anything could have happened to me any night that I did any of that. Going to a random motel.
I went from being a teenager living with my parents to being a prostitute. I didn't know anything. That's all I knew, was how to use my body and how to just work in a world that I shouldn't have been in.
These are women of the blade. The streets they've walked have few exits.
It's really hard to get out of that. It's kind of like an object in motion is going to stay in motion, you know what I mean? And you can't. And when you have to have money to like wake up, to turn the light on, to have your alarm clock go off, to get on the bus or start your car.
To be honest, I'm kind of not over it. I'm really not forward. I'm stuck in it in a time loop. I see everything. I have nightmares every night. It just hurts.
And beat myself down every day because I did something I didn't want to do. And I have to live with something I can't get rid of, maybe.
Honestly, I feel like it has to start with cracking down on the predators, not the women that don't know any better, or the ones that want out but don't know how to get out because they're too scared. Nobody does these things because they just want to.